I got to tell you a little bit first about how I discovered Think Kids. So I'm just a mom. My son was 8 years old. He was in the third grade. Uh, just all of a sudden started to just lash out and have behavioral issues in school, bullying kids, uh, just so angry and just so defiant. And it just seemed like it came out of nowhere. So you know, I'm a mom, any mom, just you're doing and trying just about everything that you can to try to help your kid, right? You're online and you're going down the rabbit hole of what to do and what not to do. Try this approach, not try that approach. And then I actually work in the school district where my kids go to school. So um, there was a layer of being an employee and also being a mom, and just, you're trying to deal with what are they going to think of me and my parenting style and what am I doing and what am I not doing? And so there's a forward thinking, very young behavioral therapist and in training at the school that my kid goes to school. And so she said, have you tried reading this book called Changeable by Dr. Stuart Avalon? And I was like, no, my bedside table reading is not like romance novels or anything like that. It's books like, oh, Strong Willed Child and Mind Parent, Mind Body Parenting. And so I was like, okay, well, I'll add another one to the stack, and just spent so many sleepless nights just trying to comb through, and find techniques that worked or something that would work. So I was up at midnight and I was looking at the book, going through it, and I looked at the back, opened up the back cover, and then I saw a picture of Dr. Avalon, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to email this guy. I'm going to see what happens. I'm just going to email him because I need help. I'm just in this situation, and my heart's breaking because I don't have the tools as a parent to give my kid what he needs. And how, you feel like a failure. All of these things go through your mind. You have this beautiful, amazing, smart, creative, energetic, just beautiful little person, and he's going through something and I can't help him. So I go to Stuart's webpage, and I said, oh my God, there's no way this guy is going to reach out to me. He's like big time. He's called me to schedule a conference or, a TED talk. And I said, okay, let me give it a shot because I was desperate. Um, and I remember typing, I'm just a mom and I'm trying to save my son. So before 6 a.m. that morning, he emailed me back, and then he connected me with, an organization called Helping Behaviorally Challenged Children. They introduced me to this concept of CPS. And so I was like, what is that? Child Protective Services? I'm not trying to go that route. So, collaborative problem solving. In order to even fathom or try to think that something like this could work for your family, you have to strip away anything that you've ever thought or believed about behavior and raising your kids, and any kind of cultural residue that just kind of lives with you, and also the way that you were parented and raised, in order to fully embrace this idea of, you know, trying to understand and get to know your child. So kids do well if they can. I was raised in a family where children were supposed to be seen and not heard. And if we were misbehaving, it's because we wanted to. And, you know, the it was a whole new way of revamping and thinking. And in the beginning, it just kind of felt like a bunch of crap. And I said, why am I sitting here trying to negotiate with an 8-year old? I'm the parent. At this age, he should know better. At this age, I expect him to do this, that, and the other. But it was like, okay, no kid's waking up in the morning every day and saying, I'm going to terrorize the world. I'm going to, make everybody angry and just be a disruptive, a social dare. Nobody who wakes up with that, in mind. And so I had to really take a step back and say, what is happening here? Like, what is his thought process? Trying to understand, um, is there something that sets him off in the morning? Did he not eat breakfast? Is this not the right colored shirt? Um, did I say, what it just a whole host of different things. So it was a way I had to just kind of transform the way that I thought, the way that everything that I believed in what I knew and how I felt about my kid. It's been like a transformation in our family because everybody's been learning and I've been teaching my husband how to do it, my um, youngest kid how to do it. And so it's just, we're getting along now and the ship is sailing along as opposed to, just being in a torrential spiral of, despair and just not knowing what to do. I just felt so alone, and I keep saying I, just because, as mothers, I feel like we bear the brunt of just a lot of child rearing and the emotional aspects of, dealing with our kids. But it was a whole family effort. But I just took it on like so deeply and so to the point where it's just like I will do anything to make sure that my kid thrives. I just want him to be able to enjoy his life, enjoy his school experience and a social interaction with friends and teachers and just kind of participate in the world instead of just being bottled up and feeling like um, everything he says is wrong. He's always in trouble and nobody understands me and all of this stuff. And so I have to say it's just completely changed our lives. And, I was at the worst point of feeling alone. Like I was rock bottom. This was my last resort was sending that email. And when I got the answer, it was just kind of like, it was amazing. And then just, sorry, um, super, super emotional and behavior is behavior across the board. It doesn't matter, doesn't care about your gender, about your class, or your how much money you have. It's just when you feel like there's nowhere to turn and you've tried just about everything, and then you find, when I found that group, it's like I found a tribe of people who were experiencing the same thing that I was going through, and I was able to sit there and speak and not feel judged or be ashamed or just anything. I just was like, okay, I'm not alone. And having that feeling of just knowing that you're not going through this by yourself and other people are experiencing the same thing, I felt like, okay, we're in the right place. And so it was great. It was just really, I don't know another word besides transformative and life changing. I can't imagine not having found this and knowing about it. And, um, with the pandemic and uh, everybody being isolated and kids just missing out on these happy wonder years of elementary school, it just gave people a chance to really sit with themselves. And I don't think the world realized that mental health is a real thing. Like my parents would always say, oh, my parents are from Central America, very different way of thinking. They believe that mental health is like some Western Americanized thing that people made up, and you need Jesus. Go to church and and get some Jesus, and you'll be fine. So, it's like people have started to realize that mental health is a real thing. And when we were trying to find a therapist, um, for our family and for my son, it you couldn't get your hands on anyone because they were in such high demand, and you know, um, it was hard for people like us who had children going through stuff, and they needed consistency. They needed someone to talk to all the time. They needed to keep it up, and so it just opened up a whole new, I feel like, world for people to just kind of start to realize and pay attention to children more and just know that there's things happening. Their little minds and their little neurological systems and stuff, they're just, you know, they need to be tended to. open up communication lines between children and their parents. Just it is a gateway to understanding and getting to know each other more. More families will be able to experience authentic, interaction and communication with each other. More children will be more comfortable to express themselves in a way that they never imagined possible. More kids will be equipped with the tools that they need to just let everyone know um, that they're going through something, and that help is there for them and available. Families like mine will be able to thrive and, just live a life that is a life that you always imagined for your kids.